everyone, my name is Mandilynn. I'm the author of the young adult novel Essence and historical fantasy novel I Am Mercy. And today we are going into our third episode of the Essence virtual reading. So last week we delved into chapter 1, and this week we are going to delve into chapter 2. And I will put links to the prologue and chapter 1 down below. But we are going to step right into chapter 2, Unreal. I'm on the beach enjoying the sun. There are a lot of people on the sand just as any other day. The air is hot and muggy, leaving my forehead moist. The pier lines the right side of the beach, extending out over the water where the waves break. I abandon my beach chair and get up to go swimming in the ocean. When I step in the water, it feels ice cold, not like the usual tropical water of Florida. I go to turn back, but the undertow catches me. Then I go numb. It isn't from the cold water, though. This is a different kind of numb. I have no control over my body. I feel limp. Then I hear someone calling my name. "Amelia," says a whispered tone. I step deeper into the water, following the voice that calls me by my birth name. "Emma," says a scared voice, a different voice. It sounds so familiar, although I'm not sure I've heard it before. Maybe it just sounded familiar because the voice called me Emma. My mom and dad are the only ones who call me that. I look around to see where the voice is coming from, but find nothing, just the crowded beach full of people. Then I hear the whispering voice again. "Amelia, come sit with me. I have something to show you." I step farther into the water until I'm up to my waist. The water feels so cold, it's like pins against my skin, but I can't stop walking forward. I look to the strangers swimming around me, but none of them even look in my general direction. "Emma, don't move!" screams the familiar voice from a distance. It is different this time, farther away. I look back at the beach. Everyone is gone, and so is the sun. The hot sand lays empty, no longer covered in the weekend beachgoers. This is no colorful sunset, just the brightness, then darkness. The whispering voice suddenly turns into many voices, each one sounding exactly the same, like a haunting echo reverberating off the walls of an asylum. "Amelia, come join us." The voice sounds excited, happy. "Yes, come have fun," says another voice. "Come swimming with us, Amelia." The voice grows harsher. My own will subsides. I follow the voices into the deep blue water, diving under a wave. When I come up for air, I'm not on the beach anymore. I'm in a forest pool. The water bites at my skin, clinging in droplets to my face and body, lingering like a lost ghost. Behind me, there's a large rock wall, almost completely covered in soft green moss. I look up only to see the tall trees hanging over my head, blocking most of my view of the sky. Some sort of vague remembrance washes through me, and I'm frozen in place. I'm shocked when I realize the same thing is happening to me now as it had yesterday, this time stronger. The feeling in my core becomes more defined, and what had once become a loss of control grows to an unknown pull, calling me deeper to the waters of the natural pool I now stand in. "Emma, please, don't," the familiar voice speaks, sounding as if it's crying. I want so badly to obey the voice, but I can't. I tell myself to walk out of the water, but my limbs don't budge. It's as if I'm no longer in control of my own body. When my vision fades to a blur, my eyes respond, filling with tears that slide down my cheeks. I'm brought to another world for a moment, the smell of sterile linen becoming prominent. Bleach and alcohol mixed together, stinging my nose and throat. At first I thought that was what brought the ache in my throat, but there is a separate pain, like a dark bruise now decorates my neck. Coughing, tears blur my vision further, and when I blink them away, I'm back in the forest. Water soaks my pants, clinging to my thighs. I shiver in the cold, but the distinct smell of cleaners and the ache in my throat are gone as instantly as they appeared. "Amelia, do you see those rocks?" the whispering voice asks. I look down into the pool, and in it is something silver. "Emma, don't! You have to fight! Don't do it!" The last part is a plea, crying, begging me to stop. This is my mental battle, no one else's, yet this unknown voice knows the struggle I endure. "Yes, Amelia, pick one up and look into it," the whispering voice coaxes. It grows excited again as my eyes linger over the rocks in the water. I'm memorized by their silver coating that is reflected through the pool. The voice that commands me is off and unnatural. The words are staggered and harsh, losing patience with me. "Look into it," the words linger in my mind. I start to walk forward again, the magnetic pull getting harder to fight. My muscles strain, trying to fight the force that controls me, but I still inch forward. I'm standing over the silver rocks, their glimmering surface inviting me to pick one up. I slowly start to bend down to choose. It feels like if I don't do what this magnetic pull wants, I will be split in half and topple over in pain. "Emma," it's a familiar voice again. This time a voice I know. My mom. She sounds scared. Emma? Emma, where are you? Honey? Where are you? She sounds like she's getting farther away. I pull out my attention to her instantly, forgetting the silver stones and looking up to locate my mom. Again, like in the forest, the thought of my mom is what stops me. But it's too late. My mom's voice is gone. I can't locate myself in the unknown forest. Dreams are not lands of happiness. It is miscomprehended that bad dreams are nightmares. In truth, the only dreams we have are nightmares. When you are asleep, your brain wanders, bringing up thoughts of hopes and fears. During the night, thoughts of fear are what haunt you. Dreams are nightmares. Hopeful dreams are your wishes that will most likely never come true, which are their own form of nightmares. The sky is bright when I wake up. I'm on my stomach with my pillow tucked over my head, blocking out any sound. I must have done this in my sleep, because I don't remember moving from the position facing the window. I rearrange myself and see my mom in the hallway, walking with boxes in her hands. I can hear her put them to the side, then she heads back down the stairs for another box. Emma, she asks, peeking into my room when she passes by, could you help me unpack these? I step out of my bed and onto the hardwood floor of my room. Rubbing my eyes, the blue walls of my room come into focus. I look behind me to the window and see nothing out of the ordinary. Curtains still parted open, window closed. I hear my mom coming by my room once more, so I pull on a sweatshirt and head to the hallway to help. Could you just put away the things in the boxes? It's everything that needs to go in the bathroom, so there isn't much. She smiles at me, hair falling in waves just short of her shoulders. Even though it's still early in the morning, she's up and dressed, ready to take on the day. The first few days of moving in were spent unpacking my room so I could get settled, but the rest of the house is still living out of boxes. There have been days I've just sat at my bay window, mesmerized by the view. I was struck by the thick forest that was only an illusion put there to confuse me. The mountains never seeming to change, but always holding just the same amount of awe and attention they had the first time I set my gaze on them. Whenever my mom saw me looking out the window, she would comment, saying how beautiful the view was. I could see it, and I still do. I just don't know how to live here. We are secluded, surrounded by a forest on every side. Struggling to hold a heavy box that needs to be put away, my mom nods her head over to the 3 boxes on the floor and then keeps walking into her room to drop off another box. The first box I grabbed is marked shampoo and stuff. It's small but heavy. I put the shampoo, conditioner, and other soaps on the side of the tub, and anything else in a cupboard under the sink. The other 2 boxes are towels, toothbrushes, deodorant, and anything else you will find in a bathroom or linen closet. After finding a place for everything, I head out to the hallway again and see my mom standing at the top of a ladder. What are you doing? I ask, watching her head reappear from the square hole in the ceiling. It's small, not much larger than the boxes my mom seems to shove through the opening. We have an attic, my mom says, laughing to herself as she walks back down the ladder. Can I see? I ask, peering up at her. She steps down and ushers me to go, as I step into the dark storage above us. Every time I lift my foot from the ladder, the wood creaks and shifts. My mom waits at the bottom of the ladder, holding the base steady. As soon as I'm at the top, I look into the dark, empty room. A musky smell greets me, the air filled with dust and loose insulation. It's so hot, I comment, rolling up my sweatshirt sleeves to my elbows. Heat does rise, Emma, my mom tells me. Below me, she hovers over a box, trying to organize the contents inside, finding what needs to stay downstairs and what can be put away for storage. I climb back down to the bottom, the rungs of the ladder shifting under my weight as I descend. My mom holds out another box to put away. I know, I say, taking it. Put this up there. She points back to the attic and holds it onto the ladder for support. I look at the writing on the side of the box. It reads baby stuff. I go back up the ladder, holding the box above me, and slide it into the room that's nothing more than an unfinished emptiness. At least there's a lot of storage up here, I say, heading down again. Don't grow too fond of it. The only way to get up there is with this ladder, and I'm hoping it won't be sticking around in the hallway too long. She hands me another box and points to the spare room behind me that we're making into a home office. I look over the box, reading out loud, work stuff. You realize that almost every box here has the word stuff on it, right? My mom smiles and sends me into the empty office room. I'm just saying, I tell her. This is more than just stuff. You know what I mean, my mom says, taking her own box and following me into the office. We put things into place and it slowly becomes more like home. The large grand desk my dad uses now has a computer with a printer not too far off. There's a small bookshelf with large, thick books filled with words and numbers about my dad's job that I will never understand. I take a mental picture of the room, realizing as soon as my dad starts his work again, it will never be this organized. "Have you finished your room yet?" my mom asks while she arranges books on a shelf. She piles those of the same height together and the smaller ones at another end of the shelf, stacking and assorting them to her liking. I don't know. I go through a box of papers that are for my dad's job and give up quickly, not wanting to lose anything important. I don't think I will feel at home just by unpacking everything, I tell her, attempting to read a business chart but putting it to the side when the numbers and words don't make sense. "You just need to get used to things here." My mom finishes the books and moves on to organizing the desk. We continue to unpack, and eventually I realize I haven't eaten anything, so my mom dismisses me to go downstairs for breakfast while she continues without me. "What can I make for you?" My dad greets me as soon as he sees me stuff up the stairs. He's at the stove, already cooking his famous scrambled eggs, and I can smell bagels in the toaster, crisping to a perfect golden brown. I stand at the entrance to the kitchen, taking in the scents. The stove is filled with pans, but only one has eggs nestled inside and ready to eat. I make my way back to the breakfast bar, and when I sit down, I feel the sun on my back. Behind me, the dining room opens, an entire wall consisting of windows to fill the house with light. In the center of the windows is a pair of French doors which open to our small back porch to watch over the mountain range that is our backyard. "Is any of that with jelly?" I ask, leaning over the counter. My dad smiles at me, his hair sticking out in all directions. He's not an early riser like my mom. "Coming right up." He turns back to the stove and flips and mixes the eggs to cook them evenly. I wait eagerly, seeing the eggs are cooked perfectly, the way I like them, partially brown but nowhere near burnt. I turn myself slightly toward the sun that shines through the large deck window. The aroma of food from behind me smells rich as I stare through the window into the woods, the mountains peeking atop the trees. For a moment I feel homesick, missing our beach house, but I smile when my dad puts a plate of food in front of me. "Ready for your first day of school tomorrow?" he asks. "Ready for your first day of school tomorrow?" he asks, leaning on the chair next to me. I tried to beg my parents to hold off enrolling me in school because the year was almost over, but they insisted. Let me think," I say, taking a bite of food. "The house is a mess of boxes, and I have no idea what school is going to be like." My dad pulls out the chair to sit next to me. He eyes me as I savor his freshly made scrambled eggs. "And I suppose you think these boxes will just magically unpack themselves?" My dad laughs, taking a bite of my bagel and getting up again to cook his own meal at the stove. "It would be nice," I say, eyeing the pile of large boxes that sits next to our dining room table. "Keep dreaming, kid." He cracks more eggs into the pan and begins to make himself an omelet. The majority of the day is spent unpacking and cleaning. Even with the three of us, we don't get everything done that we want. After a while, my parents tell me that I can stop since I have school the next day and need to make sure nothing I need for tomorrow is lost in the world of unpacking. I find my notebooks and gather some pens and pencils from around the house. I don't know what else I will need, so I just put the things I have now in my school bag. After a long hot shower, I spend the last hour of the day drawing. It's something I've done my entire life. Ever since I was little, I've drawn everything from plants and animals to more unexpected things like raindrops and close-ups of leaves, revealing their true texture to the world. My parents were proud of me and even thought it would turn into something bigger. They sent me to an art school when I was 7, but the teachers made us draw things the way they wanted. I failed out of the class. My parents were upset because I was young for the class and only got in because they were friends with the owners. After I failed, the school put an age requirement on enrollment because young students weren't talented enough to take the class. That was 8 years ago, and since then I've stopped publicly drawing. When the rules were changed because of me, I was humiliated and told my parents I didn't want to draw anymore. They didn't believe me at first, but when I stopped showcasing my art, they thought I had stopped altogether. Now I just keep my work private and hide my drawings as soon as I finish them. It wasn't until recently I realized why I had failed out of the art class. My drawings have an abstract quality. I take real-life items and draw them, but when I'm done, they look like a hidden picture within scribbles. My parents have always appreciated the drawings I made, but others have had a hard time seeing the picture. Taking out a blank piece of paper, I lay down on my bed, using a freshly sharpened pencil to aimlessly doodle. I make strokes across the paper and let my mind wander. The pencil makes light and dark marks against the page. Sometimes I let my hand rub against it to create smudges that leave black spots from the lead on my wrist. I continue in the trance until I feel I'm done. When I look down, I am amazed by my own work. On the paper is a picture of a waterhole surrounded by tall rock in the back. The water is crystal clear with small rocks reflecting through the liquid. I stare at the drawing, still amazed that I just drawn it. What shocks me the most is the feeling that I know the place. It feels as if it's somewhere I've been multiple times, yet at the same time it's somewhere unknown. Never assume you're alone, because you never truly are. Only when life has surely ended and your loved ones have forgotten you is when you are gone. Gone from this world and the next. Sleep is when you are most vulnerable. It's a sanctuary and a curse. How you perceive it is up to you. That night there's no whisper of wind to frighten me awake. It's just me, sleeping, shifting, but never waking. The night passes in a dreamless slumber. I'm on edge, muscles never relaxing, even when my mind drifts and finds its slumber. So that was chapter 2, and I hope you guys liked it. And, do the usual. Comment down below, let me know. Thumbs up, or even better, subscribe. Thank you for watching.